Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another chess video. Today I have something very fun to show you. Uh, uh, a day ago, 2 days ago, because the video will be uploaded on Saturday, I played in a tournament on chess.com, unrated, by a guy who made it, called House of Nightsong. He's a Twitch streamer, and he has a pretty good follow, and every Thursday he makes that tournament at 10 p.m. And I decided to chime in, and the tournament was in progress. Like, he made the announcement very late, and I decided, the leftover time, to play like a couple games. I managed to play 6 games, 3-minute, no time increment, 3-minute blitz, very fast. I'm not good at blitz. I'm mostly good at rapid, but not blitz. And I played 6 games. I won 5 of them, and I lost 1 of them. I will show them to you today. And before we begin to the games, I like to say that we have a Discord server. Link on the description if you want more information on that. Now, enough yapping. Let's jump onto the games. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, we're going to begin with the first game of that mini tournament. So, we get an e4, e6, French defense. We get a nice little that variation. I've never played that variation, but apparently taking is the best move because it's a free pawn, and that's what I not do. I just, here, this is the best move because you just give a central pawn, but in this case, I just want, I went with a nice little c5, c5, which turns it into an Alpine Sicilian, somehow, but I still consider it the French, so, yeah, take, and take, and I get a bishop out on move 5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, queen e7 check, king d2. Now, let me tell you something. If you played this position, how would you react? You got 2 moves with the king, 1 move with the bishop, 1 move with the knight, 1 move with the queen, and 1 move with this bishop. What would you move? Would you move this? Would you move this? This? Or move your king somewhere? This move is absolutely the top engine move, because once you take, you just take like this, and you cancel next move. No! King d2. White loses on the spot because of bishop d7. That's one of the moves, but gives away the advantage. I just developed a piece. The computer wants to go towards the king and like try to set up an attack. Like, if white is not careful, then you probably will get checkmated. If you're not careful. Like, you have to sack your queen, because if you don't sack your queen, like, there's this. Oh, wait, that's not a queen sack. What am I talking about? Oh, there's this. Oh my god. What about this? Oh, that's why. Okay, so then there's this, and you just take the bishop after this. Or the queen, apparently. Wow, that's top engine. So yeah, bishop d7, rook e1. At this point, I thought I was like losing completely. Like, I was like, I lost my queen. No, you just blocked the bishop. I took a long time to think on that one move. Check with the bishop, and I have the bishop here. Knight d4 threatens to take the bishop. Queen z5 check. King c2. Queen g6 check. King b3. Bishop takes d4. That is a reasonable reason to take the bishop. Queen takes d4. Rook b8 check. King a3. Queen takes g2. Queen takes a7. Rook c8. Defending everything. There's nothing. There's no holes in the position. Bishop f4. And queen f3. And apparently this move gives a win advantage because of this. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how the hell it gives a weight advantage. I mean, what? If I play this, then there's this. And apparently I'm losing here. I have to go here. And there's a mate threat, but it's not quite mate because you're defended. So I don't know what the computer is on about. I don't see a reasonable follow-up. So, we instead have bishop e3, knight f6, queen b7, and castles. Castles on move 19. Don't castle early. b3. This prevents rook b8 ideas, pinning the queen to the king. Once rook a8 check is played. Rook a8 check anyway. Why not? King b2, rook f to c8, just supporting the pawns and everything. Queen b4, knight e4, trying to take the pawn. Queen d4, defending everything. And c5, you break the position. Queen d1, threatening queen trade. Bishop g4. I want the queen trade to me. Now, apparently, the computer says it's a mistake because after this, once he takes like this, apparently there's like this. And you're winning because there's this. I didn't find that. It was a blitz game and I had like 50 seconds left or something. I'm sorry. I could not see something in like 50 seconds. I'm sorry. So, instead we get bishop g4, queen takes f3, bishop takes f3, knight e2, knight takes e2, bishop takes e2, and rook e8. Now it says white is winning, but I don't see how white is winning. I mean, I have a 3-on-2 on the king side. He has a 3-on-1 on me, but I can stop it. Bishop e3 and c4. b4. Now, obviously, if takes here, I would like to check first, then take the pawn, because it just looks more correct. So, b4, f5, just trying to win the bishop. Bishop c5, and bishop e4, covering everything, defending everything. f3, hanging a pawn completely in one move, like just free pawn. Takes, that's all. Now the pre-move begins. a4, rook e2 check, winning a pawn. Rook f1, bishop e4, defending every single pawn that I currently own. Rook f2, rook takes f2. That was a forced, not a forced, what am I talking about? I mean, that was a accidental rook trade that was not meant to happen. Because now, king f7, he's completely winning here. But I'm faster at breaking. However, he lost some time. And yeah, he lost some time, and he didn't manage to win. Honestly, the game would be leaning towards a draw, because you're really fast with the pawns. Like, if you're too rusty, you start pushing, like, things can go horribly very wrong, very fast. Like, you keep pushing, you gotta sacrifice, and then make a new queen. Because once he makes his own queen, then you just check, and you win the queen. Like this. That was game 1, on to game number 2. Alright, second game of that whatever time I had left on the tournament. Like, I joined very late, because there was a late announcement. I played this game was against a 200, so here we go. d4, d5, c4, queen's gambit, knight c6, the Chigorin defense. A 200 playing the Chigorin defense, that's never heard of. C takes d5, and clearly does not know what to do in this opening. Obviously, the standard move is to take here and defend like this, and then there's like an e5 thing. You just develop a horse. They might pin you. What you can do is you can play 3, you can capture here and invite this queen exchange, but you lose your castling rights, but you're still fine. Still close to quality. I mean, game's not over in any matter. But no, knight c3, I just defended double pawns. Knight f6 and e4 and everything. I have a very solid center. I don't care too much about the double pawns. They are even taking away squares of the b8 knight. e5. And that's a free pawn. It's now I just have the double pawns in the e-file, and that's it. Knight bd7. Defending a knight against an attack from a pawn. You know how this will obviously end. E takes f6, knight takes f6. There goes that beautiful black horse that the black side owned. Knight f3, bishop g4, bishop b5 check. Obviously, you gotta block with the bishop, because if you do not block with the bishop, then take, and you get forked. And king e7, bomb cloud, hello. Take, and castles. Queen c6, knight d5 check, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, Queen a4, rook d1, and there's a mate threat, and you can't do too much to stop it. h5, and mate in 2. That's how the game ended. Let's go to game number 3. Okay, this game was against the 900. Keep in mind, I'm 1100 on Rapid, but I'm 900 on Blitz. I don't play Blitz as much as I play Rapid daily and daily 960. Because I'm more of a Rapid player, I like to think. I don't like to pre-move, but if you see me playing a Rapid game, I will Blitz out the opening so I can, have a time advantage. And that's fine in Rapid. That's probably also fine in Classical chess as well. So, d4, e5. The England Gambit. Of course, you take knight c6, knight f3, queen e7, knight c3, take, no take. So we just have this position. This move is top engine move. You pin the knight. Here you can trade, or you can play this and apply a lot of pressure. But instead, I just took. Yeah, I took, and where's the? No, I took like this, which gives away advantage. But you took the wrong way. I could have played this, which is very risky, not gonna lie. But no, I went bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, threatened the fork, failed to defend against the fork, sacked the pawn. He doesn't see it, but knight c3, bishop b4, bishop e2, bishop takes c3 check, take, castles, d5, f4, d takes f4, and there's a massive exchange. Attacking the pawn, d4, bishop e6, bishop h5, trying, I don't know why I played that move. Bishop c4, attacking the rook, but everything has to come to an end, and I blundered the rook in one move, because I don't know, I was just low on time, probably. Lose the rook, at least I will probably try to get the pawn, never mind, there's no chances in this world. Now, it's not horrible, it's not completely losing, but, 2 rooks and a rook and a bishop can be a draw. As weird as it sounds, more pawns get traded, this position can be a draw. But that's too early to happen. g4. Yeah, now it's not a draw, because I just blundered the bishop. g6, and sacrifice, and yeah, now I'm completely losing. Rook f6. King d7, h4. I gotta go for the king, because if I don't go for the king, I will end up completely losing. Rook f8. And the only move, g5. Because after takes and takes, you cannot take the rook. Because if you do, there's a fork. And you lose the rook. And if you count the pawns, it's equal. But black has to pass pawn. So he has to find a way to push the black pawn on the g-file and win. Let's see if he can do it. King f2, king e6, king f3, king d5, king f4. King e6, king g5. It's a draw. After this move, and then this move, it's no longer a draw. Because of d5. Black has to take. He takes back. And no matter what black does, you just push. That's a Zugzwang. King e7, you lose this pawn. But even if you went here, then the pawns just go. So you pretty much have to give up the pawn. And that's savage. It's not losing, don't mind the computer. Yes, he can attack the pawn, but I'm jumping. Take, and push. King d6, e8 equals queen. The game ends here by resignation, and I win. So, lesson in this game, if you're completely losing, go after the king. It doesn't matter how open he is, doesn't matter how close he is, go after the king. And if you can find an opportunity, if you can make and find an opportunity, play it. You might win, you might lose, you don't care. Go for it. Because if you don't do anything, you're going to get squashed. Let's go to the 4th game now. Okay, I'm not going to lie. This game might be very heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking. I'll show you why. The game starts with knight c3, the Van Geet opening. I have never seen it. So we might get a transposition to something. Yes, we get a reverse Nimzowitz. I have no idea that existed. This, and I attack with c5, try to get some central space, and the guy goes here, take. Never mind, he doesn't want to trade queens. Very interesting. Not many people do that. Knight f6. Knight b5. And there's lots of problems very quickly. Queen d8, I have to go back and defend the... Why doesn't it... Oh, I forgot this. There's nothing defending that. Now it's a fork. Now it's a fork threat. D6 is the way I chose to handle it, because now you have to break through the pawn wall to do the fork. And it doesn't even work. Long castle. Look at how much pressure this pawn currently has. The engine says go for the king. Doesn't matter you're losing a pawn, because... doesn't matter you're losing this. Just go for the king. That's what it's basically saying. But no, I played bishop d7, and that's losing after knight takes d6, bishop d6, bishop takes d6, bishop c6. And this, and this, and this. That's a problem. And Simon, like, the computer move here is this, for fuck's sake. You have to, like, you have to go here, and then it's, like, mate, probably. But no, he doesn't spot that. Blocking. Just blocking everything. We're fine. We're double pressuring here. And then this. And I'm just down a pawn after all of this. Just down a pawn. I completely escaped danger. Very ominous e3. Just opening the bishop. Knight e5, f3, b5, e4, a5. Going for the king. I don't care. Going for the king. Knight e2, g5. Obviously, trying to stop the knight from coming to either... stopping the knight from coming to f4. That would be a very strong outpost square. Pushing and breaking through, or trying to trade here a little bit. And he gives up the pawn. Now we're dead equal. Check. He goes, pins me. But I stop it. That threatens to trap a knight, but I escape. He attacks it anyway. Take, and go here. That's a fork. He checks first, and he goes that, and hangs this pawn. Check, and a block. Check, and a block. And I'm safe, and apparently that's not a thing, because I am pinned, and that's just a free pawn, because this is illegal. But he doesn't see that. So I just defend it. Brings the king. I cut off the file. Take. I take with this pawn. I should have taken with this pawn. It's much better, because you've got two connected pass pawns. I don't know why I chose to take with this pawn instead. Now it's dead equal. Probably going to win this pawn. And yes, I do. I'm completely winning in this position. Like, this is completely winning. I'm passing. I got pass pawns, I got everything. Doesn't matter how many pawns you take. Doesn't matter how much you do. It's just passed pawns everywhere on the board. And in this position, my opponent sacrificed the rook. And it's a draw. You got a couple of options. Here or here. I chose here. And another rook sacrifice. The move that saves the game and is probably draw is king a3. And he's gonna keep checking. It doesn't matter how long it goes. He's gonna keep checking because it's gonna be a draw. But unfortunately, in 5 seconds of thinking, I take the rook. And I miscalculated here. What I calculated was that I can't go here. But that's incorrect, because you can. And it's a zugzwang. No matter what I do, that pawn will push. It's a 3-on-0. Eventually, I have to go back and forth. I'm on a zugzwang. I have to go here. I tried to push for a stalemate, didn't happen, and I got checkmated. In a completely winning game that turned into a draw, to a loss. How cruel is that? But that's chess for you. Chess is cruel. And yeah, that was I learned from that mistake to never take free rooks for nothing. And that wasn't even a free rook, that was a rook trade. So, yeah, if people just feed you with a rook sacrifice, like where was it? If people feed you with a rook sacrifice, you better think twice before taking it. Because it might lead to complications. And my opponent found that move in 3 seconds. How cool is that? But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna raise over that. Didn't raise, like it was 3 in the morning. I couldn't raise. So let's go to the next game. Unfortunately, after a dramatic game against the 1500, I have to play against the 200 that I played on game number 2, I think. So this time, instead of playing d4 like I played with him, I played e4, which, I want to be honest, I know how to play some openings with e4 and some openings with d4. The openings I play with e4 is the Italian, sometimes the Spanish, and when I want to troll people, the King's Indian attack. I don't know if this is considered an e4 opening, but that's like one of the openings I can play. Apart from that, I don't know why I didn't reset the moves. Now 1 c3 is just permanently stuck in there. So I play e4 because I can play the Italian. Like I don't know why that was. I can play the Italian with the bishop. I can play the anything pretty much. E4, D4. I know some openings with E4, like I told you. And now there's the D4 openings, like Queen's Gambit and Catalan. That's like the only 2 openings I know with the white pieces when I play D4. Apart from that, my opponent plays A5. That's a direct challenge to a disrespectful match. And I grabbed the whole center, H5. The layer defense. Or should I say the double magnesium defense, because that's what Magnus would play to an 100 against an 100. And I just grabbed the whole center. My opponent develops, very logical. E5, knight c6, and hangs the knight completely one move. Obviously, I'm gonna take, because now I feel disrespected right now. So yes, just developing. H4. H3, I reply, because I didn't have to play H3, but I played H3. What you gonna do about it? Bishop B4, Bishop D2, A4. And yes, that is a free pawn. That is, in fact, a free pawn. And also, that is a free pawn. But you did not see it, because he's 200. Just checking. And instead of, like, playing the human Queen E7, which would anticipate this trade, he just moves his king to F8. That's bananas. Now the rook has to do a very long ride to get out. D5. Knight F5. Knight takes E4. Because it's no longer a pin because of my bishop. Rook A6. Hanging the bishop with check, which is even worse than hanging the bishop without a check. Bishop takes D4. Check. Rook D6. Yes, as you can see, the evaluation is falling off a cliff one more time. Bishop D6 check takes. Or not even takes. Not even takes. That's the mortal bishop. That bishop grabbed. That bishop grabbed a fellow bishop of the Catholic Church for free. And a guard. It just took both of them. No mercy. Game C8. Queen E7. And trades queens when losing. I mean, holy god. My god, dude. Yeah, you're pretty much forced to trade here, because if you don't trade, if you don't trade, you ignore, then it's like, I don't know. If you don't play that rook move, then you play this, then it's like mate probably. Or no, it's not mate, never mind. But you're completely losing, and there's no way to avoid it, so that's the reason why he plays this move. I just go here. I pretty much block his escape route. King H7, Knight F3, Knight takes C4, that's a free knight, and a free development for my bishop. D6, thinking he locked my bishop away. Oh, and F5. Bishop takes H4. The bishop gets out of jail. f4, knight g5 check, king h6. Knight takes f7 check. That's a fork, and you take this. He takes the bishop. Knight g6 check, king g5, and obviously there's like this large cleanup session. Like he thought he was forking here, he did not. Like there's this large cleanup right now, and I defend everything. I clean up, and I clean up, and I clean up, and I clean up. Now there was like made in so many ways, but I wanted to be very disrespectful, so I want to be disrespectful, so I just promoted. Now, obviously, there's a stalemate right here. Like, if you do this, that's stalemate, so don't do that. Instead, I check, and then it's like check and mate with a rook. Is it with a queen? I'm not sure if it's with a queen. It's probably like mate in two. Oh, look at that. Mate in two. Look. It's mate in two. The artillery attacks. That's that. Yeah. Let's go to the final game, because holy shit, that was the worst game I've ever seen. And after that horrendous game, let's go to the final game where I played against like an 800, that's 1,000 in Rapid. We have a Friends, an advanced variation. Now, if you want to trigger me, play the exchange, because you throw all my theory out the window. So if you see me, play the Friends exchange, like, to trigger me. c5, c3, knight c6, knight f3, queen b6, a3, bishop d7, bishop d3, c4. C4 is not in my theory prep, but I thought it was cool because I attack a bishop, and it goes on this very uncomfortable square. Like, there's no activity on that square. Like, all the way till c4, that was all prep theory. Like, that was all prep. I've played against his moves, and I've memorized it, and I just play normal-looking moves, and I make progress. And it's not even that bad. Like, 0.6, I don't see an advantage. I don't know how bad it is. c4, bishop c2, bishop e7, castles, and f6 pawn break. The idea is if he takes, I take like this, and I develop for free. Obviously, because I'm going to play that. Instead, he plays b4. Chance to play en croissant, but I have bigger plans, so I take on e5 with f takes e5. Obviously, disrespecting and teabagging on the chess gods because I did not play End Peasant. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen c7, f4, knight h6. Very weird looking development move. Now, if you asked it on a like normal player, like they would probably say castle queenside. That's not even a good move. They would probably like move the bishop here and develop the knight on the e7 square. You can't really do that because of the queen. So what you can do is play knight h6. Now it's still very good to play, but you just come back, and you've solved both of your problems. Problems. Now he can take this. You can, but I could play. I mean, you're pinned. I mean, you're kind of pinned. Like you're pinned down. I can just castle. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna castle. A4 is apparently the top engine move because if you take, apparently there's like this check. The computer is massive. But no, he does not see the check anyway in a castle, and I put the knight on f5. He doesn't take. Taking here is fine. Because the knight is better than the bishop. Here, the knight is very better than the bishop because it controls lots of good squares. It controls g3, e3, like it controls squares that you can use for attacking purposes. But he doesn't, and I just let the knight just chill there, a5. And it's the top engine move by Stockfish. Why? What's the point of a5 here? I want to break apart the structure and open up the a file or open up a file and try to take up space. That's the point. Bishop takes a5. Finally, he decides to take. Rook takes f5. Bishop e3. A takes b4. C takes b4. And free pawn. You can't really take once this happens. Like you should have taken here, but I guess it was apparently instead of taking like this, you can go here. Now, I don't know. This doesn't make too much sense because I mean, never mind. It does make lots of sense because after he plays like something like this, you can sacrifice your queen, and if he takes like this, it's mating too. Never mind. The computer is a savage person. I just take this, and it's a free pawn. Knight d2. Another free pawn. And this time, he trades rooks. I wouldn't trade here if I was him. Queen g4, just attacking nothing, basically. Now, his threat is, it requires two moves of duration. Rook f3, rook g3, try threat and mate, and it's stoppable very easily. Bishop c5, rook f3, I told you that's the threat. Queen a5, though. It's not too bad. It attacks knight. H3, take the bishop, and then free knight. He's gonna go rook g3. That's a very scary mate, but I can just defend in two ways. Number one way I can defend is go back like this, or I can play what I played. First of all, it's the check here on queen e1, and then I played, now it says play this. I don't know what's the difference, but I played g6 instead, which is equally as good. And now there's no way for the queen to come in. h4. Queen e3. I hang the queen in one move here. I wanted to play here this and like put lots of pressure, but I just mistapped and that happened. But the gods gave me a chance, and he played h5, hanging a pawn with check, and I take this this pawn with the queen. Oh, never mind. That was, I don't know what that was. A takes g. Take the queen, take, and this, and after all the dust settles, you have a minus 12.2 advantage. I'm pretty sure if I let the computer run, it's gonna say like 13.7. Minus 15, holy shit. Yeah, the computer is thinking really hard. Let's see if it increases the advantage. No, I think that's the maximum. Okay. King c3. Rook takes c5, king f3, rook f5 check, king g3, king h6, rook h4 check, rook h5, rook g4, rook g5, king f3, rook takes g4, king takes g4, e5 check, discovered. That's why it's a check. King f3, king g5, king e3, king f5, king d2, king e4, king d2, bishop g4 check, and it's GG's. Because after king d2, d4, and as you can see, there's 3 passed pawns. 4 if you count b7. And now, king c2, b5, king d2, b4, king c2, d3 check, king d2, c3 check, king c1. I tried to do a pawn checkmate, but it didn't quite work. It was a queen mate, but I would do a pawn checkmate. King d4, king b1, king b3, king a1, bishop e6, g4. That's the only legal move, by the way. Is it the only legal move? No, there's this. But then it's like mate. You know. Yeah, you make a rook. Oh, you gotta make a queen. Never mind. You gotta make a queen here. b2 check. King b1. King d3. z5. c2 check. King takes b2. And c1 equals queen. Checkmate. And I win. With a promotion checkmate. How cool is that? That was a fun tournament. Every Thursday there's like this guy, the streamer guy, that makes that, and I can beat people and I don't even lose elo. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Again, Brad SMP video. It's taking a while. I know. Y'all want it. But I can't do anything. There's nothing to record. Like, straight up, I've been waiting for normal to be turned on for, like, weeks, and it hasn't been turned on. And I can't record anything else. So, until that happens, I'm just gonna say, be patient, because the owner obviously doesn't know what he's doing. So, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.